The glass shattered against the hardwood floor, a scream of crystal that echoed through the silent house. My hand trembled, red wine pooling like blood around the shards, staining the rug Sarah had picked out last spring. Her laughter, sharp and mocking, still hung in the air. "Today you sleep on the sofa." My reply had been a reflex, raw and venomous. "The house is mine. You sleep on the street." Her eyes had widened, then narrowed, a flicker of something, guilt, before she stormed upstairs. Now alone in the dim living room, the weight of those words crushed me. I didn't know what I'd seen in her phone, not yet, but the pit in my stomach told me it was something I couldn't unsee. The house was too quiet, the kind of quiet that hums with secrets. I sank onto the couch, the leather creaking under my weight, and stared at the staircase. Her phone sat on the coffee table, its screen dark but pulsing with the truth I wasn't ready to face. It had been a small thing at first, a notification that lit up while she was in the shower. "Miss you already. Same time tomorrow." The name was just Jay, no contact photo, no context. My heart had stuttered, but I'd laughed it off. A friend. A co-worker. A misunderstanding. But then there were the late nights, the sudden business trips, the way her smile never quite reached her eyes anymore. I wasn't paranoid. I wasn't that guy. But doubt is a slow poison, and it had been seeping into me for weeks. I picked up her phone, my thumb hovering over the lock screen. The wallpaper was a photo of us at the lake last summer, her head on my shoulder, the sunset painting her hair gold. My chest ached. We'd been happy then, hadn't we? I typed her passcode, our anniversary 0918, and the screen unlocked. My breath caught as I opened the messages. The thread with Jay was a knife to the gut. "Can't stop thinking about you. When can you get away? He doesn't deserve you." Each word carved deeper, slicing through the fragile trust I'd clung to. I scrolled, my hands shaking, the timestamps burning into my memory. 2:17 a.m., 3:04 a.m. Last night while I slept in our bed. The room spun. I set the phone down, my pulse hammering in my ears. The wine stain on the rug looked darker now, almost alive, spreading like the betrayal I couldn't deny anymore. I wanted to scream, to break something else, but instead I sat frozen, replaying every moment of the past 6 months. The way she'd started locking her phone. The perfume I didn't recognize on her coat. The way she'd flinched when I touched her last week, like my hand was an intrusion. How had I missed it? Or had I seen it and chosen to look away? Footsteps creaked on the stairs. I snapped the phone shut and shoved it back onto the table, my heart racing like a cornered animal's. Sarah appeared, her hair damp, wearing the oversized sweater I'd bought her years ago. She looked small, vulnerable, but her eyes were guarded, calculating. "You're still up," she said, her voice flat, like she was testing the waters. "Couldn't sleep," I muttered, my gaze flicking to the phone. Did she know I'd seen it? Was she waiting for me to explode? I wanted to confront her, to demand answers, but the words stuck in my throat. What if I was wrong? What if Jay was nothing, a misunderstanding I'd blown out of proportion? But the messages were seared into my mind, undeniable. She crossed the room, her bare feet silent on the rug, and sat on the armrest of the couch, just out of reach. "We need to talk," she said, her voice softer now, but it carried an edge, like a blade wrapped in silk. My stomach twisted. This was it. The moment the truth would spill out, raw and ugly. "About what?" I asked, my tone sharper than I intended. I leaned forward, my hands clasped tight to keep them from shaking. The air between us crackled with tension, the kind that makes your skin prickle. She hesitated, her fingers twisting the hem of her sweater. I've been thinking," she started, her eyes darting to the floor. "Things haven't been right between us. You know that." I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. "Haven't been right? That's what you're going with." My voice rose, and I hated how it trembled. "What's his name, Sarah? Who's Jay?" Her face paled, her lips parting in a silent gasp. For a moment, I thought she'd deny it, spin some lie to patch the gaping wound between us. But then her shoulders slumped, and she looked at me, really looked at me, for the first time in months. "You went through my phone," she said, not a question. "You left it out." I shot back, standing now, the room too small to contain my anger. "You think I wouldn't notice? The late nights, the secrets, The way you look at me like I'm a stranger. My voice cracked, and I hated that too. Who is he? She stood, her hands raised like she could calm me, like I was a wild animal. It's not what you think, she said, but her voice wavered, betraying her. Jay, he's just someone I work with. We got close, but it's not. Don't lie to me. I shouted, the words tearing out of me. The wine glass shards glinted in the lamplight, a reminder of how fragile everything was. I saw the messages, Sarah. Miss you already. He doesn't deserve you. What am I supposed to think? Her eyes filled with tears, but I couldn't tell if they were real or a performance. I didn't mean for it to happen, she whispered, her voice breaking. I was lonely, okay? You were always working, always distracted. I felt like I was disappearing. Her words hit like a punch, stealing my breath. Lonely? I'd been killing myself to provide for us, to keep this house, this life together. But then I remembered the nights I'd stayed late at the office, the weekends I'd spent buried in emails, the way I'd stopped asking about her day. Had I pushed her away? Was this my fault? I didn't sleep with him, she said, her voice barely audible. I swear I didn't. But I wanted to. I thought about it. The confession was a blade, twisting deeper. Not physical betrayal, but emotional, somehow worse because it meant she'd given her heart to someone else. I sank back onto the couch, my legs weak. Why didn't you tell me? I asked, my voice small like a child's. Why didn't you say you were unhappy? I tried, she said, tears spilling now. But you didn't hear me. You never hear me. The room fell silent again, the weight of her words settling like dust. I wanted to hate her, to throw her out like I'd threatened, but all I felt was a hollow ache. I looked at her, the woman I'd loved for a decade, and saw a stranger. But I saw myself too, and I didn't like what I found. I need time, I said finally, my voice hoarse. I can't do this right now. She nodded, wiping her eyes. I'll sleep in the guest room, she said, and I didn't stop her as she walked away. The staircase creaked again, each step a hammer blow to my heart. I sat there until dawn, the phone still on the table, its secrets laid bare. The wine stain had dried, a dark scar on the rug. I didn't know if we could fix this, if I even wanted to. But as the first light crept through the curtains, I realized the truth. The betrayal wasn't just hers. It was ours. And that hurt most of all.